Hello dear friends, I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Legends of Baseball. Tim Raines is a name that for many years stayed in the shadow of other baseball giants, but his career deserves a reevaluation. Throughout his journey in the sport, Raines redefined the role of the leadoff hitter and base stealer, leading the Montreal Expos into an era of relevance and leaving an indelible mark on every team he played for. But what truly makes his story fascinating is not just his bat or speed on the bases. Raines faced an internal battle, dealing with personal issues that could have destroyed his career, but his recovery and perseverance transformed him into an example of resilience and triumph over adversity. The recognition that Raines deserved didn't come easily, and for a long time, he was overlooked by Hall of Fame voters. But when it finally arrived in 2017, the baseball world did justice to one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history. His journey was marked by highs and lows, but his ability to adapt his game over the years and remain relevant even after his peak is one of the most impressive aspects of his career. He didn't just excel on the field. He became a mentor and a leader to the new generations of players, a living example of how to persevere and thrive, even in the face of adversity. Watch this video until the end to discover how Tim Raines overcame challenges, became a baseball legend, and finally earned his place in the Hall of Fame. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Raines' career and his impact on the sport? Let's discuss. Raines wasn't just a player who stole bases or led his team as a top-of-the-lineup hitter. He was a master of baseball intelligence. His ability to assess situations uniquely, coupled with an impressive understanding of the game, made him an indispensable presence on any team, especially with the White Sox and Yankees, where his playoff experience brought a new perspective. He was a link between generations, helping shape not just the present of his teams, but the future of baseball as well. Throughout this story, we will explore how Tim Raines became more than just an elite player. He became a legend who, in the end, received the recognition he truly deserved. Tim Raines began his professional baseball journey in promising fashion, catching attention in the late 1970s as an extremely talented young player in the minor leagues. Signed by the Montreal Expos in 1977, Raines quickly showed he had unique skills that could make him a difference maker in Major League Baseball. His explosive speed on the bases, combined with solid contact skills, became evident early on in his development seasons. When he finally received his opportunity with the Expos in late 1979, it was clear he was not just another prospect. He was a star in the making. In 1981, Tim Raines had his true breakout season in baseball and quickly established himself as a dominant force. That year, despite the season being shortened by the players' strike, he led the National League in stolen bases with an impressive 71 steals in just 88 games, an average of nearly one stolen base per game. Raines' speed on the bases was overwhelming, putting immense pressure on opposing defenses and unsettling pitchers. His ability to reach base, with an excellent on-base percentage, OBP, made him the ideal leadoff hitter, someone who would start rallies and give his team a constant advantage. During the early 1980s, Raines solidified his status as one of the league's best players, being selected to 7 consecutive All-Star games from 1981 to 1987. He didn't just steal bases at an impressive rate, but he also maintained high batting averages, often above .300, demonstrating that he was much more than just a speedy runner. Raines combined speed, contact skills, and a keen eye at the plate, getting on base through walks, and consistently putting himself in scoring position. His skill set was so complete that he became, for many analysts, one of the contemporaries comparable to Rickey Henderson, another stolen base legend. Tim Raines' success with the Montreal Expos was also a reflection of his baseball intelligence. He didn't just steal bases frequently, but he did so with an extraordinary success rate, well above the league average. This meant that, in addition to being aggressive, he was extremely efficient and careful in choosing the right moments to strike. This combination of controlled aggression made the Expos trust him as the catalyst for their offense, and he quickly became the face of the franchise alongside other talents like Andre Dawson and Gary Carter. In an era when baseball still valued strategic running so much, Raines was an example of how to use speed intelligently to change the course of games. Throughout the first half of the 1980s, Tim Raines not only racked up impressive numbers, but also helped the Montreal Expos remain competitive in a tough division. Although the team never won the World Series during his peak years, Raines was instrumental in keeping the Expos among the most respected teams in the National League. He constantly ranked among the leaders in runs scored and stolen bases, and his consistent performances made him one of the top MVP candidates in several seasons. For a relatively young franchise without much tradition of success, Raines provided something that few teams had: a true game changer every time he stepped on the field. Tim Raines' promising start with the Montreal Expos was more than just numbers. It was the birth of a legend. His ability to change games with a simple hit, followed by a stolen base, then a steal of second, third, and eventually scoring a run, was something fans knew they could expect night after night. This was Raines' trademark, an immediate and disruptive impact that brought life to his team. What began as a promising career in the 1970s quickly transformed, in the 1980s, into a Hall of Fame-worthy trajectory, and the Montreal Expos had the privilege of being the initial stage for this extraordinary journey. During the 1980s, Tim Raines established himself as the most dominant and complete leadoff hitter in baseball, combining speed, consistency at the plate, and baseball intelligence at levels few could match. His ability to get on base regularly made him the offensive engine of the Montreal Expos, starting rallies and destabilizing opposing defenses from the very first inning. Raines was not just fast. He knew how to capitalize on every opportunity, whether by working walks patiently at the plate or getting singles and turning ordinary plays into constant scoring threats. His understanding of the nuances of the leadoff hitter role made him a true strategic weapon at the top of the lineup. Year after year, Raines remained among the National League leaders in stolen bases, finishing the decade with over 600 stolen bases. But what set him apart from other fast runners was his efficiency. He didn't just attempt more steals than most. He converted his attempts into success with impressive success rates. While many speedsters lost opportunities due to over-aggressiveness, Raines mastered the art of choosing the right moments to run, anticipating pitchers' movements, and exploiting any defensive weaknesses. His combination of game awareness and physical explosiveness made him virtually unstoppable on the bases. In addition to his speed, Tim Raines exhibited remarkable consistency at the plate. During the 1980s, he maintained batting averages often above .300, even while dealing with the rigors of being the leadoff hitter, a position where the priority is often just to get on base by any means. His discipline at the plate was elite. Raines knew when to attack and when to wait, which earned him a high on-base percentage, OBP, and, consequently, more opportunities to use his speed. It was this rare combination of offensive skills that made him not just a traditional leadoff hitter, but one of the most complete offensive players in the league. Tim Raines also had a sense of timing and showmanship that further increased his value as a leadoff hitter. In moments of pressure, he rarely faltered, initiating attacks in critical situations and changing the dynamics of tight games with a simple reach base and subsequent steal. His presence at the top of the lineup forced pitchers to lose focus, worrying not only about the batter at the time, but also about the imminent threat of a sudden base-stealing spree. In many games, Rain's threat was so significant that it altered the opponent's strategy, creating errors and opportunities for his teammates. Tim Raines' impact as a leadoff hitter was not limited to individual statistics. He elevated the entire offensive performance of his teams. By constantly being in scoring position, Raines maximized the potential of the hitters that followed him in the lineup. His aggressive and intelligent playing style energized the team, created momentum, and often changed the emotional tone of games in favor of the Expos. Few players had the ability to influence a game in so many subtle yet decisive ways. His contribution was felt not only in the box scores, but also in the way he forced opponents to play out of their comfort zones. Throughout the 1980s, Tim Raines redefined what it meant to be an elite leadoff hitter. In an era that saw the rise of powerful hitters and stars of all kinds, Raines showed that speed, consistency, and intelligence could be just as lethal as home runs and RBIs. His mastery of the leadoff role cemented his place among the greats of his generation, and his dominance as a leadoff hitter inspired a new generation of players who saw the ability to get on base and wreak havoc on the bases as an art form as important as any long ball. At the peak of his rise as a young star in baseball, Tim Raines faced a silent battle that threatened to undo everything he had achieved. In the early 1980s, he struggled with drug addiction, a harsh reality that few fans knew about at the time. Raines later revealed that, at certain points, he carried drugs in his uniform. Such was the severity of the situation. Even while shining on the field, his internal struggles were constant and heavy. The pressure to meet expectations, combined with his youth and sudden fame, contributed to him being caught in a harmful cycle that could have prematurely ended his promising career. Recognizing that he needed help, Raines made a courageous decision to seek treatment and confront his demons head-on. He went through rehabilitation and committed to rebuilding his life both on and off the field. This choice not only saved his career, but also transformed his personal journey. After treatment, Raines returned with renewed energy and continued to play at a high level, proving that willpower and determination can overcome even the toughest challenges. His ability to rise again made him even more admired, as he not only overcame addiction, but maintained athletic excellence, something extremely difficult in such a competitive sport. Tim Raines' story of overcoming adversity became one of the most inspiring chapters of his career and reinforced his legacy as an example of perseverance. He showed that true greatness lies not only in natural talent, but also in the ability to face one's flaws and reinvent oneself. Over the years, Raines went from a promising player threatened by addiction to a model of resilience and courage, serving as an inspiration to his peers and future generations of athletes. His honesty in sharing his story later also helped to destigmatize issues of mental health and addiction in sports, further reinforcing his lasting impact beyond the numbers and records he achieved. As the 1990s progressed, Tim Raines was no longer the explosive young player who dominated the bases like no other in the 1980s, but that didn't mean his impact had diminished. Showing an impressive ability to adapt, Raines adjusted his playing style to maximize his efficiency and longevity. He continued to be a reliable hitter, maintaining a good batting average and an excellent on-base percentage, OBP, characteristics that made him valuable even without the same volume of stolen bases that have made him famous. His baseball intelligence, discipline at the plate, and deep understanding of the dynamic between pitcher and runner made him an important piece on every team he played for in the 1990s. During his years with the Chicago White Sox and later with the New York Yankees, Raines took on a new role one that focused more on being a veteran leader in the clubhouse and a steady producer on the field. He became a role model for younger players, teaching through experience and professionalism. Even playing on teams with other great talents, Raines always found ways to contribute, whether with timely hits, smart base running, or simply his strategic presence at the top or middle of the lineup. His understanding of how to remain relevant in such a demanding league was one of the key factors that extended his productive career, allowing him to continue impacting the game even after his physical peak. The lasting impact of Tim Raines is reflected not only in his accumulated statistics, but also in the influence he had on teammates and coaches. He showed that an athlete's evolution doesn't necessarily mean the end of their effectiveness. On the contrary, Raines reinvented himself to remain competitive at different stages of his career. His involvement in the Yankees' championship campaigns at the end of the 1990s, including their World Series victories, served as the crowning achievement of a career marked by excellence, resilience, and tactical intelligence. Tim Raines proved that true greatness in baseball and in life lies in the ability to adapt, persevere, and find ways to keep contributing, regardless of age or the inevitable changes that come with time. During his time with the Chicago White Sox in the early 1990s, Tim Raines solidified himself as a key presence both on and off the field. While his speed was no longer as devastating as it had been during his prime years with the Montreal Expos, Raines brought to the White Sox an invaluable combination of playoff experience, veteran leadership, and offensive consistency. Playing as an outfielder and often as a leadoff hitter, he maintained a solid batting average and an excellent on-base percentage, helping propel a young and talented team toward competitiveness. His intelligence in base running and his game awareness were indispensable assets for Chicago, especially in key moments of close games. In addition to his statistical contributions, Raines served as a mentor to several up-and-coming players in the White Sox organization. He was respected in the clubhouse for his work ethic, professionalism, and winning mentality, qualities that inspired a new generation of athletes within the franchise. His experience was crucial in the 1993 season, when the White Sox won the American League West Division title and advanced to the playoffs, a feat that hadn't happened in a decade. Raines not only helped elevate the team with his on-field performance, but also reinforced the winning culture the club sought to establish. His time in Chicago further solidified his reputation as one of the most complete and respected players of his generation. During his time in the 1990s, especially with the Chicago White Sox, Tim Raines played a crucial role as a mentor for emerging young talents. Even while still contributing significantly on the field, his true influence was often felt in the clubhouse and in the daily dynamics of the team. Raines understood the pressure surrounding young, rising stars and knew how to guide them in handling expectations, both in terms of performance and professional behavior. Figures like Frank Thomas and Robin Ventura often benefited from his experience and advice. Raines helped teach not only the technical nuances of the game, such as positioning in the field, base running strategies, and pitcher reading, but also the importance of discipline and mental preparation to sustain success in the MLB. His ability to connect with young players came from his own journey of highs and lows, which gave him valuable perspective on what it takes to have longevity and resilience in professional baseball. Frank Thomas, who would go on to become one of the greatest hitters in league history, frequently cited the importance of advice received from veterans like Raines early in his career. Similarly, Robin Ventura, who evolved into one of the leaders of the White Sox, saw in Raines a model of consistency and professionalism. Tim Raines, therefore, wasn't just an important piece in the immediate production of the team. He was quietly shaping the future of the franchise by preparing its young talents for long-term success. In the later stages of his career, Tim Raines found a new opportunity for success when he joined the New York Yankees, a historic franchise about to begin a new dynasty. Although he was no longer the dominant star of the 1980s, Raines masterfully took on a role as a supporting player, understanding the value of his experience and leadership on a young and ambitious roster. In 1996, he was a key member of the team that won the World Series, helping with timely hits, consistency as a reserve outfielder, and veteran leadership in the clubhouse. His knowledge of how to win, gained over nearly 2 decades of career, was invaluable to a team that was still establishing itself as a champion. Raines adapted perfectly to the role of a specialist, always ready to contribute both with the bat and in the field, using the same baseball intelligence that had characterized his prime years. Raines' impact also extended to the 1998 World Series championship, one of the most dominant seasons in baseball history. Even with a more limited role, he continued to be a positive and respected influence, staying productive in the opportunities he received and serving as an example to a new generation of Yankees players. Raines' ability to accept his veteran role without losing competitiveness or enthusiasm reinforced his status as a true professional. His time with the Yankees not only added important titles to his resume, but also confirmed that his intelligence, work ethic, and team spirit were as valuable as his physical skills. These accomplishments in New York further solidified his legacy as one of the most complete and respected players of his generation. As the years went on and Tim Raines' natural speed began to diminish, he proved to be much more than just an explosive runner. Throughout the 1990s, even with a decline in stolen bases, the skill for which he was originally most known, Raines maintained impressive offensive consistency. His talent at the plate and his exceptional strike zone awareness allowed him to remain a formidable presence at the top of the lineup. Instead of relying exclusively on speed, Raines refined his contact and discipline at the plate even further, ensuring a solid batting average and a high on-base percentage, OBP. This adaptation not only extended his career in the MLB, but also showcased his baseball intelligence and ability to evolve in the face of inevitable physical changes. Raines understood that to stay relevant in a competitive environment, he would need to maximize every opportunity at the plate. He adjusted his batting style, becoming even more selective and focusing on consistently putting the ball in play. His ability to work long counts, force walks, and avoid easy outs made him a constant threat, even without the same explosiveness in his legs as in his earlier years. His OBP remained among the best for a veteran leadoff hitter, showing that his value went beyond traditional numbers like home runs or stolen bases. This evolution in his offensive approach reinforced his status as one of the most complete players of his generation, and it was crucial to the confidence teams placed in him throughout the 1990s. Additionally, Raines' situational intelligence became a key strategic advantage for his teams. He knew how to adapt his style of play according to the game situation, whether it was hitting to move runners over, seeking a walk in a crucial moment, or executing contact hits when needed. His ability to understand the context and act effectively made him indispensable, even when his role on the field changed. His capacity to maintain high offensive productivity, regardless of age or reduced speed, is one of the greatest testaments to his talent and dedication to the craft. Tim Raines, throughout his career, demonstrated that greatness in baseball is not only a reflection of athletic ability, but also the ability to adapt and continually evolve. Even in the later stages of his career, Tim Raines continued to be seen as a true master of the leadoff role. He not only started games with consistent hits, but also had the rare ability to change the tone of a game from the very first moment. His baseball intelligence was so refined that, even without the peak speed of the 1980s, he knew exactly when to be aggressive and when to be patient at the plate. His meticulous approach at the top of the lineup was studied and praised by coaches, teammates, and analysts who saw him as an example of how the true leadoff hitter should act, prioritizing getting on base, wearing down opposing pitchers, and creating opportunities for the following batters. Raines also maintained his reputation as an elite base runner, something that transcended his total stolen base numbers. Even running less frequently, he displayed an impressive efficiency whenever he decided to go. His ability to read pitchers, reaction time, and decision-making were flawless, allowing him to steal bases with a very high success rate and take advantage of gaps for extra advances with extreme intelligence. This combination of controlled aggression and situational awareness made Raines a constant threat on the base paths, respected by opponents who knew that any small mistake could be immediately exploited by him. His experience gave him an edge that pure speed could never guarantee. The respect Raines earned as a leadoff specialist and base runner was key to how teams utilized him throughout the 1990s. He was no longer just a useful veteran. He was a strategic piece, a catalyst for the offense. His presence in the lineup conveyed confidence and boosted team morale, as everyone knew that with Raines at the top, the game started with an advantage. Many young talents who played alongside him absorbed valuable lessons just by observing his discipline and savvy on the field. In the end, the reverence Raines inspired among his teammates, coaches, and even opponents is the ultimate proof that his mastery as a leadoff hitter and base runner was based as much on intelligence as it was on pure athletic ability, a true model of excellence in baseball. Tim Raines' induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2017 was a historic and well-deserved achievement, crowning a career marked by consistency, baseball IQ, and a lasting impact on Major League Baseball. Despite a long wait, which included several failed attempts in previous years, his final election was a testament to his greatness and how time can sometimes be the best measure of a legacy. Raines, who became one of the most respected players of his generation, had his excellence recognized at last, standing out not only for his offensive ability, but also for his strategic contributions throughout his career. His journey to the Hall of Fame reflected the persistence and resilience that defined his path both on and off the field. Although not as widely celebrated as some of the other great names of his era, Raines was always a figure of great importance within baseball, especially among specialists and the game's true lovers. His style of play, focus on getting on base, and being a constant threat on the base paths made him one of the best leadoff hitters in history, but also put him in a somewhat more discreet position compared to the traditional sluggers. However, over time, the merits of his career became clear to the voters of the Baseball Writers Association of America, BBWA, who recognized his valuable contribution to the league. His ability to steal bases, maintain high batting averages, and keep an impressive on-base percentage, OBP, placed him among the greatest, solidifying his place in history. When Raines finally received the phone call informing him of his induction into the Hall of Fame, it was a moment filled with emotion not only for him, but also for fans and teammates who had followed his journey. His election was celebrated as a victory of persistence, as he had come close to being inducted on other occasions. But the final recognition was a symbol of the lasting impact he had on the game. Even with the delay, Raines' selection to the Hall of Fame highlighted the importance of his career, ensuring that his contributions to baseball, often overshadowed by the more media-centric stars of the era, were finally acknowledged. His induction became a milestone, representing a late justice for one of the greatest players the sport has ever seen, whose achievements continue to influence the current and future generations of players. Throughout his career, Raines was a constant force, both offensively and defensively. He redefined the role of a leadoff hitter, not just through speed and base running ability, but also through his disciplined approach at the plate. His high batting average and impressive on-base percentage placed him as a model of efficiency at the top of the order. Even with a decline in speed in his later years, he was able to adapt his game so masterfully that he remained relevant and productive, a crucial lesson on evolution and adaptation throughout a long and demanding career. Rain's impact on the teams he played for was equally significant. Not only was he an excellent player, but he also became a leader within the locker room, serving as a mentor to young talents like Frank Thomas and Robin Ventura. His playoff experience and professional demeanor helped shape the winning mindset of several teams. The success of the Chicago White Sox and later, his crucial contributions to the New York Yankees' World Series victories in 1996 and 1998 demonstrated the importance of having a veteran like Raines on the roster, someone who understood the game on a deep level and knew how to handle the pressure of big moments. Raines may not have been immediately recognized with the honor his legacy deserved, but his induction into the Hall of Fame in 2017 was a well-deserved acknowledgement. The wait for his induction was long, but it also provided an opportunity to reflect on the lasting impact he had on baseball. When he was finally recognized, Raines not only celebrated his own story, but also caused the history of the game as a whole to be reevaluated. His journey helped pave the way for many other players who, like him, may not have been fully seen in the early stages of their careers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content, and activate the notification bell. And be sure to leave your comment. The final reflection on Tim Raines' life and career makes us think about the true meaning of success. He wasn't just a talented player. He was an example of hard work, perseverance, and humility. His ability to overcome the ups and downs of life, both personal and professional, is what truly makes him a sports legend. Raines teaches us that success isn't just about reaching the top, but about the journey, the struggles, the victories, and most importantly, how you rise when things get tough. Tim Raines' contribution to baseball and to society as a whole goes far beyond the numbers on a stat sheet. His impact on the sport is timeless, and his legacy will continue to inspire players, fans, and anyone who believes in the power of transformation through effort and perseverance. Tim Raines is more than a name in the Hall of Fame. He is a symbol of how sport can be a platform to overcome obstacles, grow as an individual, and leave a legacy that will last for generations. Until the next journey, dear baseball lovers,